Well, let me ask you something, Kyle. How does dying in the Middle East sound?
No bueno.
No good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in my opinion, when I think about it, I think that opinion is a recent phenomenon, okay? And I'd argue that back in the late 90s, Operation Desert Storm era to like early mid 2000s, going to the Middle East to shoot innocent people was too appealing to the average American teenager, especially post 9/11. And eventually, the video games got too good, okay? When we were growing up, I remember when I was a kid, when I was very young with my friends, we all kind of planned to go to the army. It was like, dude, we'll just go to the army and like get some money, Like one of my friends had an older brother that did it. So it was like easy.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, when we got addicted to playing Xbox, and made Steam accounts and all that shit, the plan pivoted to becoming garbage men.
Ah,
And I believe that the U.S. government realized that video games were becoming too good and too great of a value. So they implemented microtransactions and other negative features to make the games worse to motivate our youth to go back to war.
did they have a surplus of garbage men?
Well, I don't know. I didn't get too far into that plan. I just read online that they made a lot of money.
Okay.
I've read before that they made like 100K. But, first, the real leg of this is why die in Iraq when you can play MW2? Okay. MW2 is a great game. And before that, there weren't as many games that the teenagers were obsessed with. Listen, being in the army was always viewed as cool. It's like, oh, bro, the commando guys were cool, but the games weren't good enough to replace going to the army. The games motivated you to go to the army. Like kids would play Medal of Honor on their PS2, and they'd be like, man, like, I want to go to the army now, bro. I want to shoot some people. But all of a sudden, MW2, bro, you're hitting trick shots off the crane on high rise. You can't do that in the real army. That's too
No.
good.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't want to deploy anymore. They
They
don't want
only
to go
let you
do that
hard
shit.
scope.
Yeah, they don't want to go do that shit.
No.
They want to stay home and they want to fucking hit 10th prestige level 55.
Quick scope.
And quick scope and all that shit. And I think, specifically microtransactions are a secret new tax applied by the government that they apply to lazy, fat gamer kids like myself who are ineligible to deploy to either, obesity, drug addiction, or autism. One of those reasons. And, I probably have all three going on. But they needed some way to make back that lost revenue from sending these kids to war, So we're going to rake that back by adding microtransactions to Call of Duty. Around this time, they added loot boxes. Okay, you might remember around Advanced Warfare, they added loot boxes. And I don't think that's a coincidence, bro. I think Call of Duty was up until like Ghosts, it was getting too sweet. Kids don't want to go fight in the Middle East anymore, bro. Loot boxes, okay? All of a sudden, they're getting owned. They're turning their console off. They're raging. They're pissed off. They're poor. They have no money. They need to go to the army. They're addicted to opening loot boxes. They go to the army. They get a base model Dodge Challenger, and they open 1,000 loot boxes, and bam, all of a sudden, they're dead in Afghanistan. Kind of fucked up. Government's doing some psyops. Now, way back in the day, games were way more bare bones, PS2 era, like I mentioned earlier. But MW2, the Xbox 360 gen specifically, came out at the worst time possible because it was while we were in the middle of the biggest Middle Eastern conflict our country's really ever had, And we needed to motivate more people. Our recruitment numbers were shit. We keep kind of loosening up the standards for recruitment. All of a sudden, you can smoke a little weed and join the army. You can be a little fat and join the army. You can. Back in the day, that shit was competitive.
They just raised the age too.
Yeah, because us fucking chuds, our fat chud gamer American populace, are staying home and leveling up on COD instead of getting out there and fucking blowing up, driving over IEDs and shit. Yeah. And that's just that's not what our government and our military needs. And also, around the same time that these games started getting worse with microtransactions and, just started getting less enjoyable, there was a big push in the media. I remember when I was a kid, you would turn on the news and it was like, violent video games are motivating like school shooters and extremists. You remember that?
Yeah.
Bro, I remember my parents wouldn't let me get GTA 4 when I was a kid because they saw in the news that like it would like inspire mass shooters and like you could commit like killings on GTA 4 and shit. And I remember in order to get GTA 4 as a kid, I had to make a PowerPoint and present it to my mom on like why I should be allowed to get GTA 4. And it was fucked up. And now GTA 5 has been out for 13 years. Listen, Rockstar hasn't been waiting to release GTA 6 because it takes 13 years to make the game. They've been waiting to release it because the government's got them by the balls. And they said, no, stop making these games that are making all our kids lazy and fat. We need them to go fight. You know, we need them to get out there. It makes sense when you really put the pieces together.
So you're telling me that we're probably going to get World War III before we get GTA 6?
Well, listen, bro, right now, the war in Iran just started. So all I'm going to say is the past few years around COVID, we haven't been involved in much global conflict during like Biden's presidency and stuff. And honestly, first term Trump's too, we weren't really involved in that much global conflict. But like now we are. So I think the games are going to get worse because they want us to step outside.
Yeah.
You know, so get ready for microtransactions to come back, and games to get worse, and everything's going to be AI generated in the games, and we're all going to hate it. And then, you know, we'll be arguing about it on like one of those big bomber planes that's flying us over to like a small farming village where like
A B2.
we'll have to defuse some IEDs or something. Yeah, B2.
Yeah. I like that.
You knew that without the internet?
B2 Spirit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, what B2. Yeah, we'd be flying on that. But yeah, that's my conspiracy. You know, I think that, you know, that period, the 2010s, the reason games suck so bad is because they wanted to, you know, motivate us to get back out there in the military, you know? What are your thoughts on that?
I think you could be onto something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could be. Could you go back up?
Yes. Yes, I can. Would you like me to keep going up?
Well, you're good. You're good. Yeah. No. It makes sense, man.
Did you just like lag or something? Like I feel like you were about to say something and you just like disconnected. Like you're just like, yeah, makes sense.
No, I had to cough.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, cool. Okay, for sure. All right, yeah, fuck it. Oh yeah, all right. Okay, let's go to the question of the week this week, dude. Let's go ahead. Get this fucking hood off me though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, my forehead always gets like...
This is my least favorite one.
They're not very breathable. They're not the most breathable hats.
Well, my ears hurt because it's created an echo chamber of the vibrations of my own voice just banging off the tinfoil and just hurting my ears. That was fucked. But I gotta blow my nose though. Hold on, let me give me a second. Oh, that felt really good.
Blowing your nose?
That felt very rewarding. Do you ever like have those sneezes that just feel like so like dopamine comes out?
Yeah, like
when you're sneezing.
Pressure was released.
Bro, it's just that. Oh
yeah.
my god! I had one the other day. Sometimes what I do, like these white lights, I have like smaller versions of them at home, and over my monitor of my my like desktop, I have like a bright white light, and I have like apparently it's a kind of rare genetic trait, but I have this genetic trait where like light makes me sneeze.
Yeah, it
So,
happens
like,
when I go in the sunlight.
yes, I can look in the sun, or like if I stare at a white light for long enough, I can sneeze like over and over and over, like a lot, clear my sinuses out. And it's OP. Like if you can get a handle on it, it's actually an OP skill to have. But I'll like sit at my desk and get like real close to my white light. And if I've been doing a lot of blow, like I used to do this all the time. If I've been doing a lot of blow, like when I was younger, I would look up at my white light and just just clear my sinuses out, bro. And it works, dude. Back in like, I remember I lived at my mom's house and like I had this big ring light on my desk and like, dude, just go right up to it. I'm telling you, clear all your sinuses out.
I'm surprised it happens even from like regular lights for you. It's only the sunlight for me.
No, I can do any light.
Literally only
lights.
The sunlight will get me.
The yellow lights don't work as well. Like the ones in the kitchen probably wouldn't do too much for me. But like that one right above the TV, bro, if I got up real good on that, I'm sneezing all over that motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going crazy on that
I
light.
don't know if it's gonna make me sneeze.
You
but it'll
know?
burn a hole in my retinas.
That's a well, maybe that too. But fuck, I'm already so blind that I don't know how much it would really matter. You know, I'm blind as fuck.